Do we have a lot to talk about? Stephanie White press conference, her introductory press conference. We have a lot to talk about with Alyssa Smith, the Valkyrie draft coming up next month, the free agency the month following that. Kelly Krauskopf, Wnba Cox sat down with Stephanie White too. Like, listen, man, the fever is looking good. And I do want to say this. I want to take a second before we even get into everything. I want to take a second to appreciate Kelly Krauskopf, Stephanie White, and Wnba Cox because they are being serious about it. They're not like they understand what the situation is in front of them. Like, I'm going to compare it to a situation, and I'm going to keep comparing it as this video goes on, but I'm a fan of the Phoenix Suns, the NBA team Phoenix Suns, right? And we have a new owner last year named Matt Ishbia, and the previous owner was Sarver. And he was like how the previous Fever management was, like not serious about it, not taking the franchise serious. Matt Ishbia came in the same way Kelly Krauskopf came in and started changing things immediately. You see how soon Kelly Krauskopf became president. She demoted Lynn Dunn. She hired Wnba Cox, hired Stephanie White as their new head coach, fired Christy Size. We can only imagine what she's going to do when the free agency come, okay? So I just want to take some second to appreciate that. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to FIFA Fridays.
Let's go. Alright, now we can officially get into it, okay? So today we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about how easy it is playing alongside Kaylin. Of course, we're going to talk about Stephanie White's introductory press conference. Aaliyah Boston unfollowed Christy Size. We're going to get into that. What else we going to talk about? We talk about Alyssa Smith, Aja Wilson, and Caitlin Clark's Nike feud. I wouldn't really call it a feud. We're going to get into all of that, though. Let's get straight into the clips because we do have a lot to talk about in these clips. It's about 10 minutes long, but we're going to go in between. It's different clips that add up to around 10 minutes, but let's go through it, okay?
What was your process in first deciding to make the coaching change, and then what excited you about bringing Steph back on?
Yeah, so, when I came in, beginning of October, really, had an opportunity to evaluate and fully look at everything. And so my challenge was, where do we need to make improvements?
Mm-hmm.
Where can we get better?
Yep.
And how do we, expedite this process? Because
okay, right there alone, those are the three major. Right there, those are the three major points you want to hear your president talking about. Where we can improve, where we can get better at. And et cetera, et cetera. You want to improve every day. It's certain teams that are just like, what do you call the word? Like, they're just, when you just accept whatever the situation is, you don't want to do better. Like, complacent, I guess. Like, I like hungry. I like determination. You know what I'm saying? And hearing Kelly Krauskopf coming in immediately saying, "Oh, I'm attacking this head on. I want to get better every day." I can promise you right now, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, all of our key players, they are salivating hearing this right now because there's only one team I can look at in the WNBA and point that okay, this franchise is taking it serious, and it's the Indiana Fever. Finally, you know what I'm saying? Let's continue though. Let's hear what else you got to say.
From what I saw in the 2 years of watching from where I sat, Christy Sides did a great job, and as we move forward, my thought process was how do we maximize what we have, and how do we jump on this opportunity now? So the direction, the timeline was accelerated, to be honest. There was an opportunity to try to take experience, look at how can we maximize this group of young players, right. The resources that we have to be successful and move that forward. So, we had made a decision that we were going to move on, and that was tough because it doesn't take away from anything that Christy did and what that coaching staff did. And to use her words, she left it better than she found it. She left it better than she found it.
Oh my God. Do we got some Kelly? Is Kelly Krauskopf being messy? Is Kelly Krauskopf throwing shade right now? Well, I'm here for it. Hey, if it is, I'm here for it. Okay, like she said, and she's giving a little smile, and I love Kelly already. She's giving a little smile and everything. Like I hear it in her tone. Like, hey, she told you she left it better than she found it. I'm not even gonna say too much. Like, yeah, Christy Sides said it herself. If this is how she left it better, then let's see what happens without her. Like I'm saying, because if you make the stuff better, your subtraction things should get worse. But you know what I'm saying? We're gonna see how this season play out. I just love that little messy shade right there from Kelly.
But
Professional
we're looking
shade.
forward, and this is about the next phase and the next era of kind of what we're building here. So, once I got word that Stephanie White could potentially be available, we had some other candidates that we were looking at. And then when I had the opportunity to talk with her, it was like fortuitous, or something that just, I couldn't even believe the timing of the opportunity to talk with her. And I know Stephanie, I know how she is as a coach, and I saw what she did when she was here the 2 years that she coached, and just the chance to have her come back and take over. There's a lot of similarities in the way I see her play the game, the way she coaches the game, the way she communicates.
Right.
And what we have very highly intellectual players. Aaliyah Boston is one of the sharpest, high IQ players I've ever seen. Caitlin is as well. Lexi, we've just got a really, really high IQ group of players, and I look forward to how Stephanie can communicate with them and work with them and put them in a position to be successful.
Like, listen, she's acknowledging the players in front of her, which is the most important thing. You don't want to leave nobody out, especially Lexi being present, physically present. If I didn't say it already, Kaylin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi Hall were all sitting side by side right there at that introductory press conference, and I cannot explain how important it is to make everyone feel appreciated, but still acknowledge that you have 3 stars on your hand. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we are a team, but we understand what's the ranking, you know what I'm saying? The hierarchy system, right? Nobody's better than the other one, but we got more production from each player, all right? Now listen, Stephanie White smiles at her players at this question right here we about to play, okay? This is probably one of my favorite clips from today. Stephanie White smiles at her players as if an inside joke between like the coach, like because she was coaching against them last year against us, when she was on the Suns against the Fever in the playoffs, right? We all know this. But she talks about giving Kaylin a longer leash than Size gave her, which was not long at all. Y'all already know Christy Size was icing Kaylin out of games. Kaylin Clark was walking away from the team huddle. She was clearly frustrated. Like, Stephanie White knows, like, listen, this girl is a generation talent. I'm going to let Kaylin Clark do what she wants on the court, but obviously it's going to be in an organized system. Like, you can play random, but at least have a foundation to fall on. That's all Kaylin need. She just need a foundation to fall on. Like, okay, I'm going to do my own thing, and if that doesn't work, we're going to go back to the game plan, like the foundation. Christy Siles was like, no, forget your game plan. This is my foundation. Like, it was a power trip, I felt like, with Christy Siles. But look at Stephanie White inside joke right here. Look at it.
Tony East with the next. Stephanie, for you, you mentioned coaching against this team and the challenges of game plan. Now that you are in charge, what do you envision doing differently or more effectively with this group than?
Look at that smile right there. Just look at, like, the chemistry is in the pudding. How can you not root for this coach? Like, just look at the chemistry. They haven't played a single game together. I don't even know if they had a team practice off records yet. And she has this type of relationship with her teammates. I can only imagine how close they will be by May. Like I don't.
Than in past.
Well, I think, first and foremost, obviously, they're an exciting team to watch. I think offensively, we can be more creative. I think we can utilize, in more versatility, utilize the certain players in different ways. I'm a forward-thinking, outside-the-box kind of coach. I like to challenge them on a number of levels. They're a high IQ team, so also giving them the freedom to make plays. Like, you want to make plays, you don't run plays. Everybody knows at the end of the day, players win the ball games, right? You got to give them the freedom, the confidence to believe in their abilities to make those plays, but also a little bit of the structure to help them see the different ways that you can attack. I think we've got to get better on the defensive end of the floor. Certainly, we don't have to make leaps and bounds and go from wherever we are to the top, right? But we've got to continue to get better. We've got to make sure on the days that shots aren't falling that we're able to position ourselves to win ball games.
So right there alone, she's talking about even if the scoring is not working on our end, I want us to play defense all the time. We might not score all the time, but we're going to play some defense all the time. You best believe that. Like, one thing we might not do, we might not be able to control if the ball could go through the hoop, but we can control what we do on defense. We can prevent that ball from going in that hoop or try our best. We're going to make our opponents work hard every night. Teams was walking into Gainbridge Fieldhouse and just torching us for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, post-Olympic break, it wasn't like that. But that post-Olympic break run, like, that's what breathed life into Stephanie White again. Like, oh, my God, I can see what I can do with this team. Like I said with Lisa Bluder, when she was watching the Indiana Fever play, I'm 100%, I would say 90% sure that Lisa Bluder was, like, watching it from a coaching mindset. Yeah, I know, I've spoken about this a million times. So the fact that Stephanie White, someone who's active in the WNBA, and best believe they're watching other teams play, too. I'm pretty sure she was catching Fever games because this is her hometown too, you know? But I say that to say this. Stephanie White was coaching the Fever without being on the team. She was coaching the Sun, but while she was watching the Fever games, she was coaching in her mind, whether it was on TV. She was like, okay, I would have did this here. I would have did this here. And I'm pretty sure if Size did something that she said I would have did it, and Size did it and it worked, she like, you see, I know what to do with this girl. So, hey, I think that's why Stephanie, another reason why she came over here.
You know, I was never a player who played defense. Dunn can attest to that. But it is a big part of how I coach. And so, yeah, see, I see you agreeing right there. You like that.
She's joking.
But it is a big part of how I coach, and it's an important piece of us positioning ourselves to win ball games. And so, you know, we'll attack that as well, and we'll continue to get better on that end of the floor. But more than anything, we want to continue to be exactly what they are: a fun, fast-paced, up-tempo style of play. They're sharing the basketball, making teammates better, building quality depth. You know, I always said this as a coach the last 2 years, but with this team as well, like, you know, it's a long season. And next season, 44 games. We want to get a quality rotation. We want to put the best players who play well together on the floor in a consistent rotation. And we got to play the long game. You know, certainly you want to win every game, and you want to compete every game, but playing the long game, positioning yourselves for the playoffs, positioning yourselves to win playoff series is important.
Oh my God, she's already talking about playoff series, playoff success, it being a long season. In life, you don't want instant gratification. It just spoils everything. You want to build for the long run in anything you do, whether it's a business, whether it's a job. You don't start off day one being the boss. You work your way up. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say Stephanie White already, she's not like feeding delusion to the team. A lot of coaches make the mistake of being too high on players, like telling them, oh yeah, we're going to be storming through the league. I'm going to have you doing this. And then when the season comes, their actions is not relating to what they were saying in the off season. And that messes up the relationship with coaches and players. Stephanie White, coming out the introductory press conference, she's speaking to the public saying, listen, we looking for the long run. We don't care about instant success. We know we're going to win. We know that already, but I don't have to say it, because if we don't, we're going to win at some point. When it's all said and done, we will be a winning team. We will be recognized as a winning team. And that's all you want to hear. You don't want to hear delusion. You want to hear facts and realistic goals, not unrealistic, you know what I'm saying, nonsense. I ain't going to say no names, but
Steph, both as a broadcaster and as a post.
Okay, right here. Stephanie talks about Kaylin and Aaliyah's competitive traits and how she's inviting the bright lights. Another thing, like, she just has so many traits that you just gotta love, bro. Like, I'm sorry. She wants the competitiveness. She wants the bright lights. She's like, bring it on. You can see, just look at the girls, and like, her face is just like, Stephanie White might look like she's joking all the time, but I promise you, it's just certain people you could look at their eyes and know they are so serious right now. Like, behind all these smiles and stuff, it's pure hunger, motivation. She out for blood. She want the league. And listen, we all are too.
I wonder what has really stood out to you. They're the past two rookies of the year. What stood out to you about how they played individually and also how they played as a pick and roll duo?
I think first and foremost, you know, they're both incredibly competitive players, and you know, there's a fire and a mentality that you can't teach when it comes to competitive spirit, and when it comes to being a great teammate, and when it comes to lifting those up around you, and you know, watching both of them grow into not just the players that they are, but grow into the spotlight that they have, how they lead. You know, how they make their teammates better, how they lift one another up, how they've handled, you know, all of the things that have come their way. You know, and all of those things that come your way are certainly earned when you're put in this position, right? It's like, you know, people say it all the time, like, oh man, you'd hate to be. No, you don't. Like, as an athlete, this is what you want, right? You want to be the one that is the hunted. You want to be the one that has the opportunity to impact. And not just impacting, you know, little girls and boys, but impacting the game, impacting your team, impacting our culture.
Yes. Yes.
And these two have led the way with that. And then you put it together and you've got the point guard in the center. Are you kidding me? Like, you've got the bookends that you want to build around. And these two are the best. And I think that there's so many things that they do well right now. And you saw the difference from the beginning of the season to the end of the season and how much better they got with one another, how much they could anticipate what one another was going to do, how they facilitated with one another. But there's so much room for growth. You know, when you think about a Stockton and Malone, right? You think I know you guys are too young for that reference, but when you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go down in history as the greatest. And I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity that those two could have in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and hanging banners in this building. All of those things are so exciting. The future's really bright, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Oh my God. Like, listen, Stephanie White has said so much in that clip. From her mouth to God's ears, she's talking about hanging banners. Yes, not one banner. Multiple banners. Yes, plural. She knows exactly what she has on her hands. And she just, thank God. Like, she comes all super confident. This is what you want to see in your coach, especially when she has the support of every single person around her from top to bottom, including the fans. This girl is hungry. I love the energy that Stephanie White is bleeding right now. She's not second guessing nothing. She knows what she wants. She sees the vision. Her mind is locked in, laser focused. All the outside noise, whether it's good or bad, is not going to get to her until she does what she does best. You know what I'm saying? Gotta love Stephanie White for that, okay? Now listen, right here, Stephanie talks about being excited from starting here and putting our new girls in the best position to carry the torch. So she's been here for a long time. We know that. Championships, all that, right? Now is she wants to continue to, it's like a Steve Kerr. If Steve Kerr was coaching Chicago Bulls still, like he won championships with them. Imagine him coaching the Bulls and still bringing championships to the franchise. Like, that's the best.
Congratulations, happy for you. When you see these sellouts and these fans, and for you personally, how much are you looking forward to being able to coach in an atmosphere like they've had here this past year?
I'm excited. You know, AC, it's these guys are used to it. In college, they're selling out arenas. You know, back in the old days, we used to sell out arenas too. And for the first time, it's becoming the norm, right? It's not just becoming a college thing that hasn't transferred to the WNBA. It's becoming the norm, and I'm excited. You know, that's the added era and realm of having fans in the building, whether they're cheering for you or not.
Okay, so I just want to make a little quick disclaimer. The only reason it finally transferred from college to the NBA or WNBA is because of one girl. C22 herself. So I don't even get the hate. And listen. Like, I just got to bring this in right now because I know I'm about to come, like, this came out of nowhere. But listen, right? We mentioned this earlier in the beginning, but I got to talk about it right now. Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson, okay? If you Google A'ja Wilson net worth, now we know net worth don't really mean how much people got or what. But listen, that's a foundation to calculate, right? A'ja Wilson's net worth right now currently is about, let's say, $4 million, okay? Or $3 million, I think it is. $3 million. Caitlin Clark's net worth, and that was from 2018 to 2024. That's 6 years worth of net worth right there, okay? Caitlin Clark's net worth from just the WNBA season alone, from May to September, her net worth was $4 million. So what A'ja Wilson took to build up for 6 years, Caitlin Clark has done in 4 months. Now, I need y'all to understand this is why, and I'm not saying A'ja's a jealous girl. I'm just saying this is why a lot of jealousy tends to get thrown Caitlin's way, because she's found some success that people, like, she's so ahead of time, 20 plus years ahead of time. That's how much success Caitlin found. She's having Nike deals. I came across something today that said Caitlin Clark was being charged like $100,000. I mean, she's charged like $100,000 for a 30-minute conversation on like platforms with budgets and stuff. But like, this just shows you the Caitlin Clark effect. She's made her WNBA salary more than her WNBA salary in 30 minutes. That is insanity. This girl is growing the league. She doesn't get her props for it. They signing all these new billion-dollar TV deals, and nobody want to give her credit until it got something negative to do. Everyone to say, oh, she got racist fans. You know what? Matter of fact, we gonna do this. This is what we gonna do. Every time they say Caitlin Clark got racist fans, just send them a Venom video. Just send them a Venom video. Like, matter of fact, clip this part. Y'all. Hello, I am a Caitlin Clark fan, and if you look closely, I'm black. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, the race car have to stop. I don't know what people, like, let's get back to this. I just had to go on that little rant right there because I'm tired. I'm tired of so much hate being thrown her way. I'm telling y'all, I will never get tired of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's 100 haters, we going to address all 100 because clearly she not going to do it. Somebody's got to do it. We got to do it. You know what I'm saying?
It's huge. Competitors love it. You know, embracing opportunities to play in front of a lot of fans, embracing opportunities to impact those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people that are in the arena just by doing what you love to do every single day, just by signing autographs before or after the game, all right, just by getting on the floor after a loose ball. You know, I have boys, and I love having my boys who are wearing the WNBA jerseys. Now, who are shooting shots and acting like they're Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston and you know, and Tamika Catchings, that was their first jersey, right? And so this is such an incredible moment on a global scale for our game, for our players, for us who have been around for a long time, and I'm embracing this. I will always embrace it. I don't think any of us will ever take it for granted because this is what we envision. And now we get an opportunity to live it. You know, Dunn was from the time when you were driving the station wagon, right? The wooden station wagon and doing the laundry. You know, to now. I mean, you know, talk about trailblazers, you know, and for me and for Kelly and for Amber to have been able to sit at those tables and have those conversations with Dunn and Mickey DeMoss and Gil Geston-Kors and Pat Summitt and just hear where it started and now be able to live where it is. And for them to be able to carry it to where it's going, it's just such an incredible opportunity and such an incredible moment.
Like, that is, like, she should be doing poetry. Stephanie White should be into poetry. Like, her words just roll off the tongue. Everything is fluent. Everything just makes sense. You just love to hear it. When she talks, it's just like, okay, what else? Like, just keep talking. Like, I love what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, she's basically saying they started it, and the girls they got now on the roster are going to finish it and carry it. Like, they will never be finished, but carry it. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston. Can you ask for a better top to bottom? Then you got Kelsey Mitchell. Like, then you got Lexi Hall. Like she said, are we kidding here? Like, bro, I don't know how else to put it, but this team is like the best. This is the reason why I watch the WNBA. I don't watch no other teams. When I started, I was watching every other team to get familiar with each players. And you want to know what's the funniest part? Caitlin Clark wasn't even my first favorite WNBA player. Like, on my first couple days of watching WNBA, Aja Wilson was my favorite player for a couple days. Then when I started watching Caitlin Clark, I'm like, nope, let me subtract that vote. I'm rolling with this one. Like, oh my God, let's keep moving on, okay? So listen, Kelly Krauskopf is hungry. We already went over this, right? She's eager to get back and start making moves already. And just listen to her right here.
Scott, Kelly, we talk about Steph now being in a comfort zone. How about the same for you? This is one less thing for you to worry about. You know exactly how she operates, what she is like. And then also, what does maybe the next 2-3 months look like for you in reshaping maybe what this roster looks like?
So, yeah, I mean, we're competitive, so it's great to be here, but I can't wait to get to work because I'm already thinking about what we need to be on the phone with teams right now because.
Oh my God. Kelly just said in a polite way, I ain't got time to talk to y'all. I'm trying to get to the money. I'm trying to get to the business. Like, I'm trying to get to the team. Like, it's cool being here. I love all of y'all, but I ain't got time to talk with y'all. I got business to handle. So let's wrap this up. I'm so like I can tell she's pulling late nighters doing what she's doing right now. You have to like I'm telling y'all, let's appreciate this while we have it, because if we was any other franchise, we would not be getting this right now. You can look around the WNBA. There's not only a couple teams. I can't look at no team that's this hungry. This like they making every move. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep listening.
You know, our next opportunity is the expansion draft and how that looks and what's around that.
Which is coming in December.
We can potentially get involved in that somehow and get a player. that's what I love doing. That's what I did all those years, was finding ways to add another player to our roster that's going to impact us and help us get better. So those are the things. The roster, obviously, finalizing Steph's staff and rounding that out, but primarily, from a player perspective, it's roster building time. So we'll be looking at that starting in December with expansion draft, and then of course free agency following
goodness.
January.
Like, listen, now we not only do we have the expansion draft, we have free agency coming in. Y'all know who we want already. We want Satu Sabali. We want Double S over here. Like, I'm gonna be honest, if Satu doesn't come, I just hope that we get some good pieces. Like, cause we got a core. Like, it's not like we need Satu, but we ain't complaining. Like, we want Satu. We don't need Satu for sure. Cause we could get some good role play. Cause Satu makes a lot of money. Let's not act like we getting her for a steal unless she takes a huge pay cut. But if we get some good role players, we'll be good. Like from our Venom 5 with Temi, Kelsey, Lexi, Caitlin, Aaliyah, like whoever you want to throw in there. The bench was the only problem. You know what I'm saying? Having Alyssa Smith, even though she wasn't on the bench to the elimination game. But we just didn't have no production on the bench is what I'm saying. Like, we need more points from the bench. Especially, we need fast-paced people. We don't need nobody who's going to slow the offense up. But listen, man. Let's move on, okay? There was, and I'm going to be honest, her energy here in this clip right here by Kelly is given like, I don't have all day. I got to make this team as best as possible. She specifically talked about it being roster building time. And they're looking at all options, including the expansion draft and then free agency in January, where we finally get to see if Satu Sabali puts on a Fever jersey or if we get some comfortable, great key role players, okay? Now let's move on. There was a lot of confusion about who Stephanie White was referring to when she was talking about working alongside the big three, because she didn't name it in her recent presser. If for all of those who didn't see that, we about to play it. Well, a lot of people didn't say prior to that presser where she sat down to talk about the big three and named each one that she was talking about. Because people thought when she said big three, they were talking about Aaliyah Boston, Kaylin, and Lexi. So they was like, what happened? Did Kelsey leave? Like, people started panicking, which is understandable because nobody wants Kelsey to leave. But and on the, you know what I'm saying? Listen.
Indiana Fever, and to be able to come back and work with another 22, a generational player in Caitlin Clark, a generational player in Aaliyah Boston, certainly when you think about back-to-back Rookie of the Years and what each of those players have done up until this point for their universities, in the game of basketball, for the women's basketball culture and community. It's unprecedented, and to be able to work with those guys and Kelsey Mitchell, who I think has weathered the storm of Indiana Fever basketball, and I felt like had the best year of her career, this year. And really, when you think about teams, you think about a core three, right? You think about a big three.
Listen up.
And to be able to work with that big three, and continue to work and put pieces around them to compete for a championship, back in my home state, it couldn't have aligned any better.
Like, all right, listen, I'm going to be honest, right? With how confident she is saying that she's working with that big three right there, I'm going to be honest. Let's go back to Kelsey, Stephanie. Like, with how confident she is about that, I got to be honest. And she's saying she's working with Kelsey. Like, she's confident about it. She's not second-guessing it. And clearly that means, like, I'm very confident that Kelsey's staying with us. And they've already talked about the direction they want to head with together. And plus, we love Lexi. But Lexi's a key role player. We all know this. Honestly, she's the best role player in the league, if you ask me. A point-of-attack defender that eases the defensive load on our stars. And a knockdown shooter on the offensive end. It usually doesn't work like that always. Usually, your best defender struggles to spot up and knock down shots consistently because of the lack of talent or because of how drained they are from how much energy they just exerted on defense. But Lexi does not struggle there, and we cannot take that for granted at all. Now, let's talk about Nalissa Smith real quick. This is why, you see, like, the thing about me, I try sometimes, right? Let's let this clip play out. Now, listen, the thing about me, I try to give people grace. But this is, if you see this clip and you still are comfortable with Nalissa Smith being on this team, with all the drama she's had with the Sun and let's just watch this clip, okay? Dejanay blocks Erica Wheeler, okay? Now listen, look at her getting over Erica Wheeler screaming. Cool, right? No technical, all right, cool, ref. She's all in her face talking. Now Erica Wheeler gets up and lets her hear about it, talk about don't do that. She's just saying, don't do that. And it's like, just let the moment happen. No hands is being touched, you know what I'm saying? Like, just let it happen. But what happens here? Who comes and pushes Erica Wheeler back? Oh my God, you guessed right, Nalissa Smith. Yo, this freeze, like this pause, look crazy alone. You have girlfriend, they wearing the same jersey, and she's pushing Erica Wheeler back. All right, like, and Erica Wheeler just smacked her hand off, like, get off me, control your girl. You seen what she just did? Yelled over me, everything. You come and check me? Where's the professionalism? And they, like, I don't know, man. Like, look at her. Erica Wheeler smacked her hand off, like, girl, get your hands off of me. So listen. Me personally, that's crazy. But listen, okay? We got 3 new faces for the franchise, regardless of who's returning or not last year. We didn't have either of these 3, all right? So I'm going to be honest, like with Kelly Krauskopf, Stephanie White, and Wnba Cox. We didn't have either of the 3 last year. So listen, I am putting my full trust into them with how hungry they all sound. And until they show me otherwise, and I urge all y'all to trust these women. They are serious. And if you are good at reading energy, everything bleeds honesty, dedication, loyalty, and commitment to the Fever fans and the players. They're going all out this year for us to the point that they're being brutally honest about wanting to talk less and show the results of how hard they're working for us. You heard Kelly. Like, I don't got time to talk to y'all. I want to show y'all. I got stuff to do. I got business to handle. I'm not just here for all talking. I wanna push this franchise in the direction, the right direction, okay? And keep in mind, the Fever won a lot of games they should have lost with just the crowd. So we got to use Caitlin Clark's crowd to our benefit even more. You know what I'm saying? Because we was winning games with talent, but the crowd played a lot into like a lot of our wins. So we can't deny that. The crowd plays a huge part in team success. And I can only imagine with the way Caitlin's fan base is growing at an alarming rate. They're going to sell out literally every single game they play next year. And let me tell you why I have the best feeling this Stephanie White hiring. Like, that's one thing. Stephanie White getting hired. The new guns up top with Kelly Krauskopf and Wnba Cox will move the needle for the Fever. There's a similar situation with an NBA coach, Mike Budenholzer. Y'all remember earlier I was talking about it, right? He's the current coach of my NBA team, the Phoenix Suns. The former coach of the Milwaukee Bucks he used to be, right? His hometown is in Phoenix, Arizona, which is where he coaches now, which is similar to Stephanie White. Her hometown is in Indiana. He had beat my Suns in the finals 3 years ago when he was on the Bucks in 2021, right? When he was coaching the Bucks, and now he came and coached this team this year. Also similar to Steph White, how she just, like, now she, like, listen, Steph White just beat the Fever in the playoffs, right? And now she's coming to coach y'all again. The Phoenix Suns right now on my team are 7-1. The organization did everything right the same way the Fever are doing everything right. I'm telling y'all, it's like it's scary to me how much they got in common. You following the pattern? Everybody following the pattern, right? The Indiana Fever are about to have the craziest turnaround season we've probably ever saw in WNBA history. I'm being honest. And this is me saying this. All of this I'm saying is before even seeing our full roster. Like, just solely off the fact that we know we can trust the front office immediately up front. No slick shade. They're an open book. You ask, they answer, all right? Aaliyah Boston. We have to talk about this. Aaliyah Boston unfollowed Christy Sides, okay? According to fans on Twitter, and I went to confirm it, and Aaliyah is not following Christy Sides, and Christy Sides is indeed following Aaliyah still at the time of this recording. So Aaliyah is clearly extra happy about this Christy White firing, and I have to be honest, I'm a little surprised and at the same time happy for Aaliyah Boston, because although I'm team Aaliyah all the way, you know what I'm saying, Mrs. Bow. Y'all know that. Another part of me thought, like devil's advocate, I thought her and Sides had a great relationship together, because now we, like, Sides and Aaliyah, she was catering to Aaliyah's playstyle. Feed her in the half court, feed her in the post. And this how you know Aaliyah is so selfless. Because even though her game was elevating in Christy Sides' system, she still wanted to involve the rest of her team. And this is not me talking to Aaliyah. This is me just speculating. I feel like Aaliyah unfollowing Christy Sides, she was not comfortable with being the only scorer. She wanted to get everybody involved, because clearly her just scoring is not enough to win a game. So I love that for Aaliyah Boston. She's selfless. The same way Caitlin is selfless. You gotta love it, all right? Now, we know Aaliyah was more bothered than this than even Caitlin. And that is what surprised me, because Caitlin still follows Christy Sides. Now, of course, she got more eyes on her because she's the biggest, you know what I'm saying? But that's still wild to me. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this might be the longest Fever Friday I've done in a long time. Listen, if you enjoyed this, smash that like button like your life depends on it. Smash that sub button. We on our way to 11,300 subs, which sounds crazy to say. Y'all showing out right now. I love y'all, and I'm going to see y'all in the next reaction. Season coming soon.
C22.